Welcome to Everyone Loves Guitar, where we get to sit down and talk with interesting professional guitar players and related music industry experts. If you love playing guitar, stick around. You're in the right place. Hey everybody, this is Craig Garber from Everyone Loves Guitar, and we have the one and only Tomo Fujita with us today. And he's a well-known professor at Berklee, and he's also a well-known guitarist online. He's been a faculty member at Berklee since 1993. He's had several famous students, actually. One of them was Soul Live guitarist Eric Krasno, Lettuce guitarist Adam Smirnoff, and of course, John Mayer. His philosophy, distilled into a one-liner, is that music is not just about playing, it's about feeling, which is why he tries to teach his students to inject emotions into every phrase, regardless of what kind of style they're playing, whether it's blues, jazz, funk, or rock. And although he's resided in the U.S. for nearly 3 decades, Tomo remains closely connected with musicians and with the music business in his native Japan. He goes over there 2 or 3 times each year, and he's pretty famous over there. He's now the out-of-town expert that comes in and guitar players in Japan have bought more than, listen to this, 160,000 copies of his instructional books and videos. Who needs mechanical royalties when you can sell 160,000 copies of anything, right? He's also performed with some of the best players out there, including bass player Will Lee, Steve Gadd, Bernard Purdie, Steve Jordan, Susan Tedeschi, Phil Collins, John Mayer, James Gadson, and loads of other people. And when he's not performing on his own, Tomo also likes to sit in with other artists like Ronnie Earl, Coco Montoya, Eric Gales, Josh Smith, who I interviewed here in episode number 260, Kirk Fletcher, who I interviewed in episode 258, and Matt Schofield in episode 230 I interviewed. And we'll talk a little bit about those guys today. Tomo, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to put my cat on the floor because inevitably she's going to wind up like completely shutting this interview off. Sorry about that, brother. I just
noticed because I just got a kitten, too.
Oh, they're great, man. Nothing makes you feel better than a little kitten, man.
Yes, but thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it. Yes.
Hey, so you're originally from Japan. I was curious when you moved to the States and what was the trigger to make you move, and what were you doing in Japan music-wise at the time when you did move?
Right. Good question. So I came to United States 1986 November to find an apartment. So because I want to go to Berklee, and prior to that, obviously I, look out about, college in America, just because my dream was to come to America to study music. But then I realized if I'm not a student, I can't stay there, so I got to do something. So I thought, Berklee is a great place. But I had a lot of thing around it because I was in a funk band and just, play funk music somehow. But a couple of years before, I went to it's just very traditional, strict high school. So everybody has uniform, and and I have to study a lot. It's a lot of stress in Japan, a lot of studying.
Yeah. And
then all my parents' relatives told me music is not good thing to pursue just because no good. All they said, no good. Okay. And so I have to somehow follow a little bit kind of, general, suggestion, which I have to go to regular college. I didn't like the idea, but I thought maybe I make my parents happy. So that time, my idea was go to regular college to make my parents happy. Then maybe 2 years transfer to Berklee to study, music. And that was my idea. And the funny part is I studied Russian in university in Japan just because.
Studied Russian?
Yeah, reason is my research told me study Russian to become translator in, Russian and Japan in, business. And that's most money I could make. And I thought maybe I can, play my guitar on my free time.
Mm.
But it didn't work because so many studying about Russian, pronunciation, study Russian in English. It's harder, And I was really frustrated first year at the college. But then I found bass player who just graduated from Kyoto University, bass player who got full scholarship from Berklee.
Oh.
And Kyoto is such a small city, so if somebody says something, I heard. And I start looking for this person named Koichi Osamu. First, he hated me because I asked so many questions. All he wants to do is to practice his bass. I asked so much questions, so he gave up because I'm so, too much, So he started telling me how to get scholarship, a different way. And then ended up funny. I made a demo tape with the band, which is his band, because I asked so much, and I asked him, where do you rehearse? I rehearse here. There's a recording studio there, and I asked him to help me, demo tape. So what happened was I made a demo tape 6 months later. I sent to Berklee. I got a scholarship.
Holy crap. So how did you, a couple of questions.
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, how did you go back to your parents and say, hey, this Russian thing isn't working out. I want to become,
yes.
And how did they take it?
Well, that was like, basically they stunned, really surprised. But I always tell my friends or my parents, I want to go to America someday. But then they didn't know this comes so quickly. And first they were a little bit sad because I told them I want to quit college in Japan. Just because I told them I don't want to make place that I have a second chance. I don't believe in second chance. I just do this one. And if I don't make it, I understand. I will accept that.
Correct. Yeah. I'm the same.
Yeah. So I said, originally I want to go to 2 years Berklee, come back, but then I don't want to do that. So I quit. And my parents were a little sad, but then I got a full scholarship from Berklee. They cannot say no to this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But then they told me, I will support you maybe first, second year, but then after that, we can't. Financially, we can't. Okay. So scholarship lasts like 2 years. So that I got when I was 19. So I decided to work a lot of different jobs. One is a supermarket. It's a meat section, So like,
Butcher.
Butcher, exactly. I was working there. And that's why I have really good skill, skimming, beef and stuff. Yeah. Anyway.
Wait a minute, let me ask you a question. You didn't learn English in Japan, did you?
I did a little bit. Well, but didn't work well just because I went to, English school called bilingual, and then I just go weekend to study English, but you have to do 24 hours a day almost, You have to listen, So I start making friends from English school, English teacher. They want to study Japanese. So we did a trade,
Okay.
But, so we did that. But still, I don't think I really learned how to speak or listen English because it's really difficult to do that. Yeah, so the first year at the Berklee, I mean, first semester, I didn't even know when was a midterm or anything like that, just because I just didn't understand
English. You didn't? Yeah. Oh my God. Did you understand? How did you understand music when they were teaching the music?
Well, here's the thing: music, you can hear it, and you can really see on the paper what's written.
Okay.
So I can sort of guess what's going on, but explanation part, I probably didn't understand most of it. The beginning.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, but if I read textbook, I understand. Do you know what I mean? So reading part was good, but the speaking or listening part was really hard. So first semester at the Berklee, I decided I won't speak any Japanese. So I avoid it. So I turn the radio, I listen radio.
Yeah.
And just to try to listen, sound of English, Then in a great part of first semester, somebody recommended me to join the band called Stick People. All half, faculty members from Berklee to play pop rock, That's like 87, And that band really helped me. But still, we were rehearsing. I knew I don't understand. One time, the leader of the band explained. He probably said, "I'm gonna do such and such, da 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 da." So, Tomo, do you understand? I said, no. It was a laugh. Yeah. That was a classic me. Didn't say anything.
I give you a lot of credit, man. That took a lot of balls to like, number one, to tell your parents, because I know the obeying your parents is a much stronger part of culture, much more expected in Asian culture than it is here in the States. So I give you credit for like
very much so. And then actually, and the funny part is, if my parents were rich, like if my father has a own business, then big trouble. I have to take over.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right. But my father, he didn't do well as a business. He worked for somebody else. You know? So it's and so they owned the house, but they didn't make a lot of money. Yeah. So my father was very sort of polite. He didn't tell me what to do, really. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
So, yeah. And then one point, I always felt I wish my father told me more things. But later in my life, I appreciate because I had freedom.
Yeah.
Most Japanese guys don't have a freedom just because they're so strict,
That's really cool. What was the big drive for you that you wanted to come to America? Like, what was this thing inside that America was calling to you? What about America was so appealing?
The first one, I think, Larry Carlton was my first like influence.
Wow, that's great, man.
So funny, Larry Carlton, first influence, and I study note for note, room 335.
Wow.
And then I realized I didn't know the harmony. So that guy made me play this type of music, jazz, blues. But I realized everybody copied Larry Carlton. Everybody imitated his sound with 335 overdrive sound. But then I noticed if I keep doing it, I become everybody else. So I just decided not to do it. But his influence most strong drive for me to come to America because I want to experience what he did. Like almost he studied. He studied with Joe Pass. He played with the Crusaders when he was young, and I wanted to have that kind of a same experience so that I make my own music.
Sure. Did you ever get to meet Larry and tell him this?
I did a little bit.
Cool. Yeah. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, but I always shy about telling people just because these people are famous. Always people talk to them, so I don't want to bother them,
Yeah.
But I'm really good friend of Travis Carlton.
Yeah, his son.
Yeah. But so Larry knows, probably.
Well, hey, Larry, I bet I wouldn't be surprised if Larry's listening to this. So now he's gonna get the inside scoop.
Yeah.
Man, do you know this writer? My favorite fiction writer is actually Japanese. Do you know Haruki Murakami?
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah. God, have you ever read his books?
No, I don't.
Oh my God, he's such a good writer. Holy crap.
Yeah, he is amazing. Yeah,
he's brilliant, man. Wow. I don't even know how he does what he does.
Read something. Right.
And you know what? It's funny. There's another. I'm going to give you the name of this band. Okay. I was studying this. Do you remember that old song by Johnny Rivers, Secret Agent Man?
I don't know. No, I don't know.
There's a band. There's a Japanese band called Char, Char.
Oh, okay. Char is an artist who plays very much American sound with the Japanese lyrics, and he became star in late 70s. He was my hero.
Yeah.
He plays many songs, very funky, and he has really great intro.
Really good vibe.
Right. A lot of people don't know, but Cha is my most influenced guy.
I have it. I was studying one of this song. It was an American song called. It was actually Johnny Rivers was a guy,
really?
an English guy. I'm pretty sure he's English.
Yeah.
The name of the song is "Secret Agent Man," and it was from a movie years ago. Right? It was from I think it was the opening of. I can't think of it. It was the opening of a series, a television series. But he did a version of it that was great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and if you email me later, I'll send you the link. It's great, and I studied it. And I really love his playing.
Cha is very unique because he was brought in Japan, but early on he write the lyrics in English, and somehow he had a lot of American friends in Japan, and he speak English really well, and so he dropped his Japanese name, called him Cha, and he's really one of the first guy really adopt American music and really use the American music with the Japanese lyrics, and he made it up really popular.
That's really cool. Great player, really funky, great groove, really good groove.
Yeah,
really. Groove, that's funny, man. It's a small world, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I learned his voicing, his guitar voicing came from a lot of Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Interesting. I believe that.
I did the same thing.
I believe that.
That's really funny. Yeah.
Very cool, man.
Thank you.
What made you get into teaching? Like, you graduated Berklee and then you became a teacher there. What made you do that?
Yeah. Well, like early on, like when I was high school in a music class, I always play guitar. The music class, we're supposed to play guitar, but my teacher said, you can already play, so I give you A as long as you teach other people.
Oh.
So I just, music class, I practice halfway, I teach everybody. That was my music class, right?
Yeah.
And then he asked me teach other people. So that was my first experience with teaching. But then when I went to Berklee, everything about learning, And then I worked, sandwich place. I worked in Magic Pen, restaurant. And I was doing that just because I need a little bit of, money for living expenses. And then one of my friends, his name is Jin Shimosato, and is a jazz guitar player. He said, why don't you teach? Because you play funk and blues, really great. Oh, I never thought about it. And I start telling my band members, stick people, I want to teach maybe. And then one day, drummer brought me a little bit of cut up from newspaper. Turn to Music in Waltham, people looking for music guitar teacher. I call up. And that's my first, lesson thing.
That's wild.
Yeah, and then 2 weeks later, I quit all my cooking job. I start teaching.
Oh wow, that's great, man.
So already I was a student halfway and teaching, 2-3 music store in Boston.
Very cool.
And then I start teaching private lessons. So I already have experience, And then graduate from Berklee, then faculty member I know because I play gigs, weddings, funk gigs and stuff. So everybody starts saying, why don't you teach? Because you play blues, kind of funky stuff. We need those. All right. Then 1991 or 2, I start teaching summer guitar session, Berklee. And then 2 years later, Larry Bayon and Rick Peckham and assistant chair, they asked me, actually Larry asked me, why don't you come to my office after this? I said, what he want to talk about? And those two guys look at me and said, would you like to teach here? Yes, you got that. That's it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So then after that, it was difficult at the beginning, tell you the truth, because nobody knew who is Tomo Fujita, and everybody come to me, and then I start teaching them. So in other words, both way, we don't know each other.
Yeah.
Right? But now, after I've been teaching so many years, everybody know who I am.
Yeah.
Everybody understand what I teach. So communication-wise, so good. Because every semester, people are smiling, because people watching me to YouTube for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. That's okay. So that's cool. So you get a bunch of students in that have been watching you as they were growing up, learning how to play guitar.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Teach people from all over the world. It's a great feeling.
That's very cool, man. Yeah, I can see you liking that. That's nice, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Were you always attracted to funk and blues? Always?
Yeah, somehow. And I sometimes I'm not sure. I don't know why, but I told you, Cha was really first influence. And then obviously I listened, Jeff Beck, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin. Everybody play kind of overdrive sound. Then Larry Carlton. Here's the thing. I want to be Larry Carlton. So I have to go make my own path. Which way to do? Of course, blues is important. B.B. King, and every other place. And then, to me, jazz is important. So I listen Wes Montgomery, Joe Pass, everybody in jazz, And so, but then somehow I want to, keep my own sound in my fusion, which is funk, which is rhythm. So I kept my funk stuff from Earth and the Fire, Meters, James Brown, and everybody else, So, and then other reason probably, I went to Berklee 87, enrolled 87. But back then, everybody plays like Perk Metheny or John Scofield or, kind of a fusion, right? Mm-hmm. And everybody plays solo. And which is cool, but then everybody plays solo so great. So I thought maybe I should keep playing more rhythm.
Yeah.
So that's again, that's really Cha, because Cha plays really good rhythm for nice intro and stuff. So I chose. Basically later I got smart to limit myself certain music, because I realized you cannot master everything. You cannot. So once if you taste, you kind of have to decide what you want, So I want good jazz, not difficult jazz, good blues, simple blues, and really great groove from funk. That's all I need.
Tomo is funky.
Well, that's like, I love it. And so I still practice. Now I practice more, and this summer I practice more foundation, simple stuff, so that my finger can move any way I want to go. And all I will do is play swing rhythm.
Man, I saw some video of you last week, and wow, you were doing some incredible right-handed stuff. Some really good. Yeah, it was nice.
So I still practice my rhythm guitar, because I think I'm 53 now, but I think I still can improve. I see more. Yeah. So I'm just keep working,
And just for everybody listening, Tomo's 53. Honestly, man, you look like you're like 35, 38. Let me say. No, you look great, man.
Thank you.
In your bio, you talk about Eric Krasno, Adam Smirnoff, and John Mayer.
Right.
I'm sure you've had loads of talented students over the years.
Besides them, now, I have so many students coming up now, already play with, famous people. If you follow me Instagram, you see more and more of my students playing. One of my students, Simone, she's a, young girl, guitar student back then. And I help her to prepare audition stuff, right? And she was very nervous. Now she plays with Beyonce.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
She's all set, really great. And then other guitar player, play with, a lot of people, so I can't really say too much because people get jealous sometimes.
well, let me ask you this. Of these students that really have become high achievers,
yes,
is there some characteristics or qualities that you can look at and identify within them that directly contributed to their success that maybe other students definitely don't have, beyond like luck and serendipity of just being at the right place at the right time?
Yeah. I think most people, internet, always ask me, how was like Eric Krasno or Adam or John Mayer when they were students? See, a lot of people really concerned their level after they are when they were students, because they want to just compare with them, person, right? But to me, everybody work hard, everybody pure, really into music. I think about why they succeed.
Yeah.
It's because their communication skills. They are being a nice person. They have a lot of friends around them. In other words, guitar players tend to, stay in a room practice. But
Yes.
they have a, communication skills so that they have a more bands, So for example, Adam started playing Wally's right away in Boston with Eric Krasno. So they play funk music every Tuesday night and really not making a lot of money, but they did. John Mayer, same thing. They just play a lot of people's recording project from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. or 6 p.m. Some people don't do this because it's kind of tiring, but he was really into helping other people, and he was really into writing music with other people. So I think, to me, bottom line, you want to be really nice guy, nice person, and communicate with other people. That's how you get the job. That's timing too, but just that's the most different thing. And they were very open to my any opinions.
Yeah, that's interesting because everybody there, it's definitely not technical. Everybody there every one of your students is great technically. I mean, if they're not going to be a second year Berklee student if they're not good technically. I mean, so throw that out the window. But
Exactly.
One of the things that I hear from, at least half the people I've interviewed, I've done 300 interviews.
Yeah.
So half the people have said, we just sit in our rooms playing guitar. And when we have to go on stage, it's awkward for us because we're not social people. But what you're saying is one of the things that contributed to their success was the exact opposite. They went out of their way to get out and have a social network and constantly be out there.
Yes,
and
they
working
did.
it. Yeah. And I'm sure they were working it sincerely. They weren't like networking for jobs. They were genuinely wanting to play with as many people as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very cool. I'm going to just summarize that because all that I have is...
They start with a small audience first, Always people think they become big because they got signed like that.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but beginning, John was doing really Southwest Festival, 15 minutes, little set, tiny set. He just 15 minutes warmer. That's what he does. But again, they don't afraid to accept any job on the moment because that's how you do it.
Yeah.
They don't get calculated so much. They make own flyers. They walk around. They put the flyers. Even 15 people show up. That's great. That's how you start, Yeah, a lot of dedication. Also, again, they don't compare too much with other people in the beginning. So that's why they're not too smart. Do you know what I mean? If you're too smart and then you don't do it, Yeah.
I'm going to summarize this because all I have listening is guitar players, and I think this is really important. So the things that separated these people were, number one, they were genuinely nice people. They were really good people. Number two, they took every chance they could to play.
Yes.
No matter how big or how small. They never thought they were too good to be playing an event, no matter how small it was. They just wanted to help out and get involved in music.
Exactly.
Number three, they accepted themselves and they weren't concerned with comparing themselves versus somebody else.
Right.
Number four, they were very dedicated to continuing to play. They went out and they made flyers, and as long as they could play, and if 10 people or 15 people showed up, they were thrilled.
Yes.
They had a good social network, and of course, they can't do any of this without good communication skills.
That's right.
Thanks, man. I think that's really, really important.
Yeah.
Because in any, I'm coming from the business world, and in any endeavor, everybody has the same opportunity, but there's only a small percentage that succeed, and there's reasons why. Right. So thank you, man. That was really good.
Right. That's why it's definitely not about level of luck. That's you make yourself.
Yes.
Chance, you believe, right? Yeah.
Well, plus the more times you play, the more luck you're going to have because you got more chances of intersecting with more different people.
That's right.
So, it's it just builds on itself. The more you're out there doing it, the more luck you're going to have.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, I'm going to throw out some names of artists that you've worked with, and if you can talk about maybe how you wound up meeting them and some cool stories about working with them. Let's start with Will Lee, bass player.
Yeah. The first Will Lee, I met him through my New York drummer friend, and we did a recording session. We did a little live show on the Bita Inn, and ended up we did a few jobs with Will Lee in playing Japan. So we spent a lot of time in touring, a recording session, and Will is became really close somehow, and because I love Hiram Bullock, funky guitar player, and we always talk about Hiram. And then he told me and Hiram a little bit of crossover something, maybe funk and blues. But Will always introduce me to other people. Yeah. He said, Tomo, he's amazing blues player. He always introduced me as blues player somehow, because I think, maybe funny for him to see Japanese guy plays blues pretty well, because Japanese guy usually very sort of a theoretically mechanical, very
less emotional and more cerebral and technical.
Yeah. Right, exactly. So. That's why I play, purely slow blues and stuff. So and my birthday is 9/11.
Oh wow.
Which is same birthday as Hiram.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. To this day, will always call my cell phone, leave a message, sing happy birthday to my cell phone, because I always am busy,
That's cool,
man. That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. And every time he doesn't email, he always call me, ask me about amp tubes or something, And I said, why are you asking me tube? Well, because you're the man. Ask about the vintage, amps and tubes. Okay. It's kind of fun, And then whenever he comes to Boston, he always, again, call me. Are you free? Let's go to dinner,
Yeah.
Bring me a dinner. Amazing guy. Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
Why do you think that you do play blues? So you grew up in a culture where expressing your emotions probably isn't as common.
Right. It's not. Right. Exactly.
And you gravitated to something which is highly emotional music. And then in the music field, you took one of the more emotional, which is blues. What was going on in your head?
Yeah, it's a lot of elements, because I brought up in Kyoto. Kyoto is southern Japan compared to Tokyo. And then somehow Kyoto made more funk, R&B, and blues music than Tokyo. Really funny. So, and then I live, town in Kyoto, and one street away from my parents' house is a live house. Club called Jutoku. So every night they play music. Every Monday night they play blues. I didn't know. So when I was maybe 13, 14, every Monday I go to Jutoku to hear the blues.
Oh, you can get into clubs at that young age.
Well, here's the thing. That's the part is Japan's funny. They don't have ID. They don't use ID like we do here.
Interesting.
Right. So that's another kind of a
Still. So do you have a drinking age there?
We do in Japan, right? But still, now finally, vending machine, you need ID to buy a beer, but before they don't. So basically, you can buy cigarettes or beer anywhere.
Wow!
And the music, no limit about the age. So that was great for me to go to club every Monday, and I become friends who works at the Jutoku. So every Monday I go to see a blues band called Breakdown. And then two guitar players, both had a 335.
Oh, wow.
And bass player, drummer. And then they start with slow blues. I still remember. And I didn't know why four guys playing music but sounds so huge and so emotional. Because they play blues. And, slow blues is the first song they play. Amazing. That was my teenager. Everybody else listening pop music. But I listened to that. And after the gig, it's like 9 p.m. they stop music because like there's a regular neighborhood, So they play music 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And I stay there, talk with the people, and obviously club play Kenny Burrell, Midnight Blue, and they play, Otis Rush, B.B. King, Up Collins every night. And I say, what's that? Oh, that's B.B. King live at the Rigo. Can you copy me? So they copy me, with my cassette tape. So they back then don't know, internet, nothing. Or you have to buy records. But buying records in Japan cost $25 a record. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So I did. So another funny story. I told my mother I need maybe $5, $4-5 a day to buy a lunch, and then I only bought one,
one lunch,
one bread, $1, and saved $3 every day, and that's how I bought my record.
Wow.
Records, yeah. So anyway, records are very high. So I had to ask my friends, hey, can you make me a copy, of that, record? And they made me a copy. So that's how I did, get know people who works at club or a musician, and then I get information, CD, instead of CD, cassette tape, and I listen every night, So that's how I get into the blues. B.B. King, yeah.
So you think a lot of that was probably just your like early experimentation, like you're kind of sowing your oats as a young man going out, and then that's what your exposure was, and they attracted to you.
I was trying to achieve as much as in my own musical education from neighborhood, really, And so I always think if I was brought up in Tokyo, I probably never play blues like this. Just because has to have a music inside come out from,
Yes.
It's not so much about learning and copying. So that's why even studying blues or, jazz, first thing I always say, first, don't worry about playing guitar. You have to listen music as if you brought up with music. That's my words,
Gotcha.
So that's the idea. So and also everybody really honest to me. That was great because first I joined the band when I was 14 or 13. And then everybody else 18 or 20, college guys. And then we played kind of a fusion music, right? And every weekend we have a rehearsal. And then other guitar player who is leading band, he said, I think you need to hear more blues. Because I was playing pentatonic scale up and down the neck, and I was playing Mustang because of Chuck. And
he plays a Mustang. Yeah, that's right.
So I play Mustang, right? And then I play pentatonic scale up and down the neck. That's all I knew, to everybody else. So the leader of the band gave me record of B.B. King, Live at the Rigo, and Freddie King compilation, and Otis Rush, 3 albums. I still didn't return those albums. I wish I knew this guy. Maybe I can buy him a dinner. Yeah.
How come records was so much money there? $25 is crazy.
$25. I don't know. That was a price. By the way, how much was one record in late 70s or early 80s?
So brand new, I never bought new. I would always go to the used record stores down in the city, down in the village, in the East-West Village. And I'd pay anywhere from 50 cents to $2.
Right. That's
used. But new, they went anywhere from like, depending upon the store, $3.99 to like $7.99. Yeah, $4 to $8, maybe $10 if you got a double album or something.
Right.
Or $12 if it was a double record.
So
maybe.
Can you imagine like buying records? You have to do a lot of research. Like there's a funny magazine called Record Pal. Means Record Pal, P-A-L. So that says about all the records, who's playing, what year recorded, where, all the details. So I read it. So basically, I researched about the album. So Japan always see album, who plays what year, and what songs, all the details. Then first time you have to take a chance. buy some of the for example, I bought a Breezing by George Benson.
Yeah.
And after that, I don't know what to buy, so I start asking people which records to buy.
Right.
So if I buy one album, if it's good, then I have to search who is George Benson, where he's from, what he played with who, what year's album is great. All those,
Yeah.
And I bought a live at the Carnegie Hall, something like that. Then gradually going back, then I realized, I need to hear Grant Green. I need to hear, Wes Montgomery. Which album? Full House, incredible jazz guitar, and just research. Then I bought the album and listened to every day,
Didn't the record store owners tell you that? And couldn't, like, here, you'd go into the record store and they would talk to you.
But what happened was, my town is a very small town, Kyoto, and the record owner really didn't know so much about jazz. Right.
Interesting. It's funny, that author I mentioned, Haruki Murakami, he used to own a jazz club. So in every one of his books, there's a certain things that he always has. And one of them is there's always jazz music playing.
I see.
And sometimes he talks about going into a club and listening to, and every single book he talks about that. And he talks about, I don't know if this is big over there, eating spaghetti. Is that a big thing? Making spaghetti and boiled eggs. That's what that's the same foods that everybody's always making in his books.
Oh, well, spaghetti is popular in Japan, but more like, Japanese way to cook, Italian, American food. So basically, they call two types. One is, spaghetti with meat sauce, or Napolitan.
Red sauce.
No, Napolitan means everything all together.
Oh, okay.
Some Japanese restaurant, if you go to jazz club like that, sometimes Napolitan means really, pasta with ketchup. Really, really true.
That's great, man.
Yeah, I mean nowadays people probably mix with meat sauce.
Yeah.
But most of a restaurant, if you go to Japan, it's really ketchup.
That's hysterical, man. Oh my God.
With the meat in it. So that's like it. Then always hard boiled egg and cut up and really thin slice. That's kind of a popular kind of appetizer or side food.
Yeah, he always talks about that in a jazz club.
Oh, funny. Yeah.
Hey, okay, talk about Matt Schofield. You and Matt. How'd you meet Matt, and some cool stories? Yeah,
this is a cool story. I was teaching in Boston, my house, and he's a doctor who's really into a lot of expensive gear. And then one of his, favorite guitar player was Matt Schofield from England.
Right.
And one day, this student brought me a Matt Schofield CD, and they asked me how to play like him. And I was listening. Well, Matt does amazing mixture of blues and a little bit jazz, And then, early influence was obviously, Robin Ford. And I start telling this student about how to play like Matt Schofield. And then same year, I was at the NAMM show, and I heard Matt Schofield around. And then, just like a early story, I chased him around. I found him.
Tomo was stalking somebody.
Yeah, that's how you succeed, right?
Yeah, of course.
So I said, let's play. Well, I tried to play with him, but what happened is his manager was bringing him a lot of places. So we said hi. We exchanged email.
Yeah.
And again, same year, he came to Boston. He emailed me, Tomo, would you like to sit in to my gig?
Okay.
That's how we start. Okay. And I play with his gig. No explanation, nothing. I brought my amp and my guitar. He said, let's play. What's this? Key of A, shuffle, or slow blues. And we play. Right away, we have really good musical communication.
Great.
After that, we became really close friends.
That's
because
nice.
We always on the phone.
Yeah.
We talk about life, not just only music. We
Sure.
always about life. So we really felt same way, almost using music, guitar, to understand our life.
Yeah.
So we became really good friend. And then after that, we play a lot of a show together in Nam show, a lot of different show, Boston, California, and then he invited me to teach his called Matt Schofield Blues Academy in London.
Right.
So this was amazing. Matt plays, and he speaks a little bit about technique, but he plays pretty much about blues. And then I listen to his playing, and I explain what's going on.
What Matt's doing.
Exactly, because I'm translating to English people by Japanese guy teaching blues. That was really fun. That was really fun because, and then we have really, really great communication.
That's good, man.
That was an amazing moment. That's why I love teaching,
Yeah, he's a good guy. I think his big influences, if I remember, Robin Ford and B.B. King.
Yes.
Yeah.
B.B.
Yeah.
Albert, Collins, Albert King too. Yeah. So, So I love play with him so much,
Very cool, man. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And Eric Gales.
Eric Gales. By the way, one more thing I have to say.
Yeah.
When I speak with Matt, my wife gets very jealous because I'm on the phone so long.
Well, that's good, man. It's good. It's important to have friends,
Yeah, exactly.
Especially you guys you could talk to and just,
Yeah, and after I spoke with Matt, my wife Beth, she always said, "So did you talk with your girlfriend?"
Is your wife Japanese or American?
No, she's fun. She's half Italian.
Half Italian.
And a quarter Scottish, quarter English. So American.
And she would never let you make spaghetti with ketchup, would she?
Right. So no. She cooks, traditional,
Yeah, I would imagine.
I know. Yep. And then you talk about, Eric Gales. Yeah. Yeah, Eric Gales, again, same way. I was introduced by, instrument company, and then they set up me and Eric play gig, in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
The first gig was invitation by his show, and then T.M. Stevens was a bass. And I remember backstage, what would you like to play? He said, well, such and such, let's play Red House and Little Wing.
Yeah.
Something like that. I remember. And maybe some other funky tunes, And then he said, but we play Little Wing very different. So I want you to listen carefully. That's all he said. So if you look up, me and Eric Gales playing Little Wing together.
I will.
Yeah, you should. If you don't, I will give you a link. Anyway, he plays very jazzy. It's a little different chord changes, Then
Eric plays jazzy. I've never heard him play jazzy, really.
But his Little Wing version is very jazzy. So funny. I follow right away because I have experience in playing jazz. Sure. TM is smiling. He could tell that I know what's going on. So I follow the changes. So Eric really excited. And after that, every time he plays a New York gig or, Los Angeles or some other place, he always asks me to join, So we became really good friends.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very
He's
cool.
Such a amazing talent. He can really hear. He can really play amazing.
Yeah, he is a great player.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to have him coming on the show. We spoke a couple of times.
And then one time at the NAMM show, and I invite him at my like a demonstration in the Eminence booth. And then, like you said, being Japanese, I'm polite. So I have him, but I just polite playing. But he just plays so much. So looks like I'm not playing 100%. Just because he just plays so kind of over the top, so amazing.
Yeah.
In other words, he doesn't really hesitate. He just does it. And then I felt like, wow, I have to do maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then so I learned a lesson. Being polite is good, but sometimes some person not good. In a year later, this is I did almost like this, punching. Almost like I just play so much. He got so excited.
That's great.
I never ever thought that way. Turns out that way.
And you probably felt a lot better about yourself.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too. Just because that's type of energy that Eric plays. It just go beyond somewhere else, So I did, and then he was very happy.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
I read something recently about practicing, and they were saying that the reason why you don't play the same. Sometimes you don't play as well on stage when you're performing as the things you practice is because when you're practicing, you're very formulaic. You're focused on your technique. And when you're on stage, it's totally opposite. You're supposed to be free.
Very free, right.
And relaxed. And I read that and I said, that was a very good thing to keep in mind.
Yeah. See, sometimes people practice, especially I want people to listen from people who does a lot YouTube or Instagram, like video thing. Everybody practice a lot hours to perfect certain style of playing. Then they made a video and they play. Obviously, sounds so good because put 50 hours into the 3 minutes performance. But those guys sometimes not good at it live. Live, sometimes like when I play Eric Gales, he doesn't play regular little wing, but also he plays E flat, half step down, and I didn't change tuning.
Oh,
so I have to follow everything, different key. So in other words, certain key you can play same fingering. So you have to change. So in other words, my practice routines, like maybe we'll talk later, but I do very simple stuff. And really concentrate. And then I try to relax more. I play softer because stage, you pick harder. So when I practice softer. And I try to change a lot of different key. On purpose, I make myself difficult to play. Because that next part is almost a preparing performance.
Sure.
A lot of situation. So every day I change key when I play blues. Yesterday I played E flat, A flat, B, D flat, G flat, because I want to hear a different way,
Yeah.
So when I perform, I try to forget everything. I forget about I don't have any pride when I play, because if I have pride, then that's a problem. Then I think too much about how to play, how to make myself better or something like that. No, I want to make myself loose as possible, pure as possible. And if I do something wrong, fine, that's me, So, that's how I play,
That's great, man. Thank you. That is really good stuff.
Yeah.
Are you working on anything now that you're excited about?
Well, right now, to be honest with you, I don't have anything new tunes, but right now, I did a lot of touring in Japan, like I said, 2, 3, 4 times a year. And I learned so much about live performance and, jobs and everything. Now I'm 53. I think right now I'm very important position that first make sure my health is perfect.
Yeah,
so right now I'm really into take care of how to eat, having a good sleep, work out every day.
What do you do?
I do stretch my own way of yoga, and I do a little bit much, workout.
Yeah.
I learned from my son, he does a lot of workout. So I do a lot, dumbbell, barbell, a little bit, push-ups, sit-ups, a lot of combination. And I used to do karate, so I do a lot of kicks and punch, So every afternoon, like a late afternoon, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, that's like my priority.
Health. Yeah, man. I agree.
In the morning, I practice my guitar with acoustic guitar, jazz guitar. And so right now, I just want to make myself very ready for next big thing.
Well, health is important, man. I don't know how people don't take care of their health, to be honest with you. It's scary.
I think more American people got smart about health, especially, musician too. Everybody doing great.
Yeah. Most musicians are in pretty good shape. But I'll tell you, man, you look at I look at my Facebook from like people I went to high school with.
Yeah.
It's scary, man.
Well, I understand because Japan, like especially like food is very rich. Convenience store carries everything you want to eat, and 24 hours you can eat. So very difficult. So the last 2 years, I changed my way of eating things. Like morning, I only eat yogurt and banana in Japan, and nighttime, obviously, before gig or we eat a lot of rich food, but then I don't drink beer. I love beer, so last tour in May, I only drink small beer maybe 4 times in 2 weeks.
Oh, that's nothing, man. So you're really but you're super slim, man. You don't look like you've ever had to deal with weight issues or anything like that.
But everybody has their own a judgment. So
believe me, I know.
Yeah. So right now, my goal is Bruce Lee.
Oh man, well, good luck with that.
Like a kind of tiny, skinny, but muscular.
He's so ripped, that guy. You kidding?
Yeah. So really every day I look at him, and that's my goal.
Good for you, man. Well, I hope you get there. Come back on the show. We'll put your picture out. If you do that, we'll put your picture out.
Thank you. That's what I'm working on. Yes.
You grew up in Kyoto, you said. What was your childhood like?
My parents always stay home, and my mother, regular housewife who does take care of us, and grandparents. My grandfather was artist. He does a lot of drawing, but then he turned that drawing thing into more like a kimono business, in drawing design, because that's how he make living.
Sure.
And my grandmother was a teacher of tea ceremony and flower design. So funny, she was a really professional teacher, and my grandfather was a artist, painter. And my mother didn't play music. My father plays music, not the instrument, but to play music. Listen
to music.
Yeah. So but just kind of normal, very normal. Parents, grandparents living together, and I sister.
Grandparents live with parents there.
Yeah, right.
So does the mother's parents live with the family or the father's parents?
My father's parents. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, that's it. I didn't know that. So that's very common there for the 3 generations to live together.
Yeah, I'm not sure nowadays, but that was very common back then, right? Yeah. So
wow. That's really cool.
Yeah. So pretty nice big house, and grandparents and my parents and me and my sister. 6 people.
Yeah, that's nice, man. That's really nice.
So nice. I would say nice, ordinary family. Not so much problem. Yeah,
that's good. No drama means good.
No drama, exactly. My father is very kind. I told you, I wish my father has a little bit more say things more strongly about decision or suggestion. But now I notice my father never ever complain about people. Never complain food. Never complain about people. I think that's really nice.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because some people very opinionated. Now I know my friend's father very successful, but then according to my friends, are kind of painful because too much opinion.
Yeah, I get you. What kind of work did your dad do?
My father took over my grandfather's kind of drawing, almost a printing business, printing T-shirts or those, Gotcha. But then didn't do well because they didn't really follow the more, high tech. They did everything by hand.
Oh, so, old school.
Ended up my father was working for other company.
Sure.
Yeah. So
do people? Is the work culture in Japan everybody works and works and works here, and it's probably out of balance? In Japan, is it like that, or do the people work 8 hours and they come home and they spend time with their family?
Oh yeah, regular salaryman means regular office worker, week so-called 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But then here's the thing: Japan always say 9 to 5, but means you have to be there before 9.
Yeah.
Definitely before 9. 5, you can leave till you are superior. You are, higher rank people leave. You don't.
Okay.
It's almost like without saying, people always work till 7 p.m., 8 p.m.
Oh, that's quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's why when I'm in Japan, I noticed that, if I play club gigs start 7:30, and sometimes people, my fans say, I can't go. Why? I'm still working because my job is, Yeah, so like, long hours.
So it's the same. The work ethic there is the same as far as getting ahead and running a business, and you got to put it out. Yeah. Okay. Very similar.
A lot of hours, right? A lot of hours. But start changing a little bit. Start changing a little bit more Americanized. Means like if people try to work a little less hours, they try to enjoy more real life.
Yeah.
Also, some company getting smart to make them more real life so that work hours more efficient.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been working for myself for so long. I don't know what normal is because I work all the time. So I did this, like, I teach, right? So I do Skype lessons. I do like, corresponding lessons most of the time. So Monday through Friday, I work 9 to 5 or a little bit more sometime, But then I have a little free time here and there because of my, own work. Yeah.
And then I practice, work out.
Yeah.
But Sunday, I don't book any teaching.
You don't work on the weekends.
Weekend is more flexible with my family.
Okay, interesting.
Because to me, my family is more important than my work.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
That's American thing, I guess.
Yeah.
So Saturday, Sunday, I work. I do myself, like, practice or do something around music, but a little bit flexible.
Yeah, good for you.
So
man.
sometime like a Sunday, go out to yard. Me and my wife, we do yard work.
Sure.
Sunday, all day long. Sometimes, not all the time, but nice, very nice.
Good, man.
Yeah.
Hey, did you have what were some of the obstacles that you had to overcome along the way? Like any hurdles? I would say learning English is probably a huge one. That's really difficult, man. What you did.
Yeah, but also like as an artist,
Yeah.
Normally artists, like, you discovered by, booking agent or you join, record company or something like that. Then, honest with you, I had so many, like, offer. But I kind of knew type of music I play, so-called instrumental music. It's not so popular music. No matter how much I made sell CD, I never thought I'd make enough money from that, So then every time offer comes, I say, I will do myself, Just because I heard people made a deal, so then you become famous, but then your record's bought by other company, then you don't own your own thing. Looks like internet selling a lot of CD of that person, but if I ask that person directly, that he doesn't make any money from it.
Wow. So you realized, you didn't have any ego about this, is what you're saying.
I'm not sure, because sometimes I think about maybe I should have sold my soul to record company. I don't know. But what happened was, like, I'm at the Berklee, so a lot of people who in the industry could tell me what happened to them.
Yeah.
Then everybody says, for instrumental music like you do, maybe you should keep yourself. So that's why I made 3 records. Every CD, I wrote song by myself.
Sure.
Then I published ASCAP, and I wrote a song. I did all the, copyright stuff.
Sure.
And so still I sell through CD Baby, CD, iTunes, all that. Every month I get to pay.
Right.
It's very steady.
Yeah.
Even surprising, 3 CDs, very steady.
Well, also, you didn't need the money because you had the job at Berklee.
Right.
And so between that and the outside lessons,
yes,
that's a big.
Yeah.
financial need is a big comfort when you get to be a lot more discretionary with your own decisions there.
Right. So like now I think about if I only play music touring, my biggest question is how can I keep my health in touring? Eat the food that not so much vegetable and stuff. That's a huge concern. I mean, that's a different story. But anyway, so I wanted to. So that's like a big, probably not a problem, but just I didn't make any record deal. So almost like my name gradually getting known here and there, but not really quite. So I never felt I'm famous or something like that. I always think probably nobody knows about me, but somehow I make a living. In other words, every day I get up and I play guitar, and then I have a house and I have a place, and I don't have to worry about payments.
Right.
So that's
because
maybe it's plus.
Right? Oh, because you and I both know tons of people that are very famous that don't have any money, because of the nature of the deals they sign or whatever.
Exactly. So yes. So I that's the part I didn't experience, through agent or record deal stuff, So yeah.
Interesting.
That's interesting. Yeah. But the cool thing is, I don't have any credit debts.
Right.
I own the house, and I can play guitar all day long if I want to.
Correct.
That's to me very happy life. So that's why I respect myself that I got this life, I got this opportunity. So that's why I eat healthy, I work out, because I want to live longer to enjoy this.
Yeah, man. Well, you come down here, I'll take you to the gym.
Okay, great. Let's do that. Yeah.
Hey, I want to ask. I want to talk about gear for a minute, but before that,
sure.
Because you're such an experienced teacher, I just want to ask you one question about playing.
Yes.
What would you advise players to focus on in their practicing that most people tend to overlook?
Yeah. I think first, listening. Because nowadays, if you watch YouTube or Instagram, everybody showing performing. So everybody want to copy it. So everybody want to do like almost like a kind of easy way to learn things. So I would say foundation is listening. To me, if you don't have any listening thing, then nothing come out from you. So also, I think Spotify, all the gadget, too much to listen. So I tell my students, you have to limit about what you listen if you want to become a musician, because you have to have a deep listening about a few things.
Yes, yeah, I would agree with that, man.
Yeah, so almost like I would say, like a joke to people, like young people, you have to listen. If you listen CD, you have to listen like records. In other words, if you have a CD, divide it in half. So first 4 songs, side A. Okay, listen 4 songs over and over. Don't listen, 5. You don't want to know song 5 till next week.
I get you.
Man, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
I do.
how you just listen. So side B, when you drop the needle, that excitement, you don't have that excitement.
Yeah, that's kind of missing since digital came along.
I teach how to listen. Believe it or not, I teach how to listen. Next, I teach how to practice rhythm guitar. Rhythm guitar, accompany yourself, and that's most, because other nature that you can go to YouTube, you can click, you can get the backing track. That's a problem. Too much help. So you have to help yourself, by yourself to make a rhythm guitar. So if you learn rhythm guitar, you'll learn song form, harmony. You have to play good rhythm. You already improve.
Yeah.
If you put the rhythm guitar, backing track, any frets you put on sounds okay, because already sounds great by backing track.
Yes. Yeah.
Something like that. So like 2 things: how to listen, how to practice rhythm guitar, and just a foundation.
Great.
And if you ask one more, you have to play melody. If you play solo, you have to have a melody. Melody story. Something like that.
Instead of just playing notes in the pentatonic box, for example.
Right. So that's why play solo. You have to limit how long to play. Maybe 2 chorus, 3 chorus. That's the most, because that way you can go back to fix it.
Yeah.
Because if you have this much, you can fix it. But if you have that much, very difficult to fix,
Yeah, totally. I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome. Funny story I have to tell you.
Yeah.
When I was teaching at the Berklee, Japanese blues guitar player, I know he's very serious. First lesson, I said, let's play E shuffle, and I want you to play solo. And when you're ready, you can finish. I play solo, but just keep playing. So I keep playing. And then I kept playing. This is the longest ever I play. I played about 15 minutes. And then actually my hand is getting hurt, after 15 minutes. I stopped and I asked him, so do you know when you stop? And he said, I don't know. I think that's what we have to work on it.
Yeah.
In other words, you have to decide when to stop, when you start.
Yeah. Good point. Very good.
So those things, years ago, if in the same situation, if I play 4 chords, I stop and say, don't play, and I explain. But that's not really helping sometimes. See, you have to make good mistakes to understand why it was wrong. Because I used to go stop for maybe 4 chorus and told them, don't play that many times because not great. They explain. But this time, even tomorrow if I play, I do the same thing. I play as long as I can.
Wow.
And I smile. I say, when are you going to stop? That's what we need, Because it's probably a good lesson for them,
So learning how to play a melody instead of just how to play a bunch of notes.
Right.
How to create something that starts, it builds, and ends, and tell your story.
Yes, exactly. Just story. We have to have a story. Otherwise, no audience. Story, we have audience,
That is how everything works that people pay attention to, man. That, they want to hear a story. That's why I think this little podcast is working so well, because it's a story, man.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
And you're doing great. You come up really great question and then great philosophy around the questions. That's great. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Talk about what's your go-to guitar right now, Tomo, and what other 2 guitars
right now,
the top 3?
It's kanji guitar made by Kanji Kawabata, Japanese guy, and he's actually a good friend of Will Lee, and he's a really good friend of our American artists. And anybody who plays Blue Note or Cotton Club in Japan, he always does help people. Like Steve Gadd, Will Lee always ask kanji for help.
Do you have one right behind you? Can I see it?
Oh yeah.
If you have one near you.
Yeah, this one right now.
Okay, so that's a Strat. It looks like a Strat. Beautiful. I love that. Oh man, you know what? I thought that was. I always see you playing that, and I thought that was a custom shop because I love Fiesta Red and I love a rosewood neck.
Yeah, but
wow.
So this is new because hardtail, and this one too. Like funny. I received this guitar in Japan, and I asked him because I already own Sunburst one, gray. So I ordered this guitar specifically. This like no tremor, hardtail. And I said, he asked me, what color do you like? I always love Fiesta Red.
Oh yeah, I love that color.
Right? But the Fiesta Red, some guitar has a little darker side, a little bit more lighter one. He never showed me this color till I got one. And I surprised.
I love that, man.
Yeah, pretty funky, a little bit brighter.
It's really cool.
Yeah. I was thinking about your wife because your wife Italian, so this is Italian. He's good.
What kind of pickup? Has he wind his own pickups?
No, guy named Kishimoto.
Oh, another
Kishimoto. Yeah, grinning dog. He's funny, grinning dog. Yeah.
Now
and, it's handmade. Yeah, hand wound. It's great.
Okay. Yeah, that looks great, man. I really dig that. Okay, so it's a kanji guitar, and it's
kanji. Yeah, kanji.
Kanji.
Yeah,
kanji.
Yeah, kanji. Yes, kanji. So that's like because I never ever thought like sort of a custom made guitar is best, because always vintage Fender is always best, But his passion is making better guitar, and he makes each guitar by this one. Craig, this guitar come from square wood.
Oh, really?
He uses tools to cut. He doesn't use any machine to cut round one. Round one,
You're kidding. So he doesn't like, holy crap. What kind of wood is that?
This is a little older. Like
alder.
Alder, yeah. So if I give you a link in the Facebook because he posts process of making guitar.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
He does everything handmade. Amazing.
Circle that.
Right?
That would be really cool. I'd be interested in seeing that.
So
Kanji.
always this guitar. It's this best guitar.
What other two guitars round out your top three?
I would say like a Duosonic. Duosonic is kind of small guitar, 20, like a 22.5 inch. Yeah, I don't have it right now. Actually, I have, this. Yeah, this is like this Duosonic.
Yeah.
I love
that's cool. Is that a Fender?
Fender, yeah.
It's got noiseless, older noiseless pickups in there.
No. It's like it looks like a noiseless, but that's really just no top.
That's it. Yeah, it looks like the old noiseless.
I know. And then I like this 335 Gibson.
I was going to say, man, I'm hoping you're going to say 335 as much as you guys talked about Larry Carlton. Yeah. Now, what year is that? That's a nice looking guitar.
67.
Oh, that's really pretty. Where'd you get that?
In Japan.
Oh, is it?
So there's a funny story too.
Yeah.
When I was 16, I bought a new Gibson 335. It's a little over $2,000. And a year later, and actually I play a lot, then I also kind of stiff, And a year later, when I was 17, I found this guitar at the music store, and I played it. Some reason, this guitar is something about special, And then I just kind of puzzled. What should I do? I bought a new guitar and this old one, but price like a double. So I decided to sell the new guitar. I sold about maybe 1,300. Yeah. And this guitar was over 4,000. So ended up I made a new loan about 2,800 back then, And then I brought all the shabby case with this, and I told my mother I sold a new one, bought this one to pay a double. My mother was furious, Yeah.
Hey, so those are Japanese made Gibsons.
No.
Oh, it's an American Gibson.
American Gibson, right?
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Compare Japanese Fenders and American Fenders, even the new ones, because I look on eBay.
Yeah.
And for example,
yes,
you can't get Fiesta Red Fender. You can't get Lake Placid Blue Fender unless you go custom. But if I go on eBay and spend $2,000 or $1,800, I get Fiesta Red Japanese Fender, Lake Placid Blue. What is the difference between the guitars? Some people say they're better. I mean, a lot of people say they're better.
So I'm not sure how much I can tell the truth because I know so much truth about that. What happened was Bill Schultz was a president at Fender, and then in the early 80s, in 80, 81, around there, and a Greco or Fernandez or other music company was making really nice Tokai, making copy of a Fender. Yeah. Bill Schultz was going to probably sue them. Instead of sue them, he hired them to make Fender Japan, only available in Japan. That way, get rid of other company in Japan.
Yeah, so he bought out the competition effectively without having to go through a lawsuit.
Yeah, and then they said price go only about around 1,000 because they set the price cheaper than American one.
So they're able to sell more.
Right, but I think that Fujigen or Greco, I forgot some company, they have a factory. They made all the Fender Japan. They brought those machines to United States to make, I think, Fender custom shop.
Holy shit.
So maybe you have to cut this part, but anyway.
No, that's cool.
But okay, so what happened is Fender Japan people probably taught Fender custom shop.
Interesting.
Because that's after the... So in other words, especially older Fender Japan, really valuable. But Fender Japan in Japan means Japanese people don't believe that. Because people in Japan always love Fender from America
It-
because of brand,
Yeah. But how are the quality of the Fender Japan guitars today, the modern ones?
Today is really good too because still they're made in Japan. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a 3 Fender Japan, and I have a Fender Japan, very cheapest one, which is cost about $500 or $600. I bought it just because I was curious.
Yeah.
I tell you, really, really good.
So you would have no problem recommending if I wanted to buy one of those Fender Japans off eBay.
Oh, I don't, right. As long as they're all original, that's good, Yeah.
Great. So when I'm ready to buy, I'm going to send you the link before that, so you could tell me, because you'll know know who's doing it, and okay,
right.
cool, yeah,
yes.
because they're gorgeous looking. I mean, they're like,
yes, and especially if you do buy any vintage, Fender Japan, don't afraid to pay a little bit more money, because a little bit of money more like insurance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you go try to cheap deal, always something wrong sometimes. So.
No, I'm not that guy, because you know what? Because I work for myself, and I always charge top dollar in what I'm doing. And I'm sure you're the same. I don't think you're the cheapest guy around to do lessons, but there's a reason. Usually you get what you pay for.
Exactly. That's why. Yeah, exactly. I charge kind of high. So that's why I do better job.
Yeah, right. I mean, and it's and I believe in that. Not that I just throw money away, but I think for the most part, as long as you check something out, that you get what you pay for. The quality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Fender Japan's kind of funny part is they decide how much sell for. In other words, they could not sell for anything expensive than the US models. That's why I surprised when I got cheapest model and I got an expensive model. I didn't really see the huge difference.
Interesting. So you bought it would be like a comparable to a Mexican.
Yeah. So
in theory.
Cheapest one's lowest cost model was $600, right? And top model was $1,200. I bought 2, and then I don't really feel like a huge difference between.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And those are what kind of pickups? Are those Fender pickups?
So here's the thing, expensive model use USA pickups.
Okay.
Cheapest model use Japanese model pickups. Yeah, that's why American artists always say, if you buy cheap Japanese Fender, just change pickups and parts, and then you can upgrade. But to me, I don't change anything because that's still pretty good for the price.
It sounded really good, yeah.
Really good. If you want to do just change the whole thing, whole pickups, a pickup assembly, maybe you can enjoy different way.
Yeah, but for me, first of all, I don't do that work myself, so I'd have to send it out. By the time I send it out, pay for the shit, and then pay to get it installed, I might as well get the better quality,
right?
Exactly. And then I don't have to worry about did they screw that up. It's all tight and it's done.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
That's good. That's interesting, man. Thank you. I was always curious about that.
Yeah, Fender Japan's good.
Any players that influence your playing that people might be surprised to hear?
Any people influence you
that people would be surprised to hear? Like, you talked about the guys that I was not surprised. Robin Ford, you talked about Larry Carlton, Grant Green, Char.
Yeah. I mean, funny part is Gatemouth Brown,
Clarence Gatemouth Brown, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one song called Okidoki Stone. That song really changed my life. Just because so melodic and so rhythmic in 2 minutes and a half. Amazing. I mean, and I listen a lot of music, so, I'm not sure. But I think, how about this one? Bruce Lee, I told you earlier. To me, that figure really influenced my music too. Just because he's so perfect. And then no waste of parts. In other words, his muscle just right amount, not too much. And he does movements so quickly, and he does it so well. He has so much, believe in things, very strong. And I love his move. If you watch his, sometimes he does nunchuck with tennis player. He does amazing.
His philosophy was really very efficient movements, And I don't know a lot about him, but what I have studied as far as like, he was not into any kind of drama or conflict at all. He was really into like, just like, let's.
So here's the thing, like, so that's probably direct and indirect. I really take his philosophy. For example, Boston, very famous as a Boston bad driver, right? Driving. I never even pay attention. People get mad or anything like that. It doesn't do anything to me.
Yeah.
That's a huge waste of my time.
Oh,
so in other words, like, anything comes wrong in my life, I just understand, but don't pay attention. The difference is some people try to ignore. If you ignore, always those things comes back to you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But to me, I totally understand somebody maybe, saying something bad things about me in the internet.
Yeah.
I understand, but I don't get mad, but I don't pay attention.
I'm the same way. But for selfish reasons. My selfish reasons is I don't want any stress in my life.
Exactly. I don't like a stress. Also, that's too much work, It's too much work, and it's all negative. There's no upside. Exactly. There's degrees of loss only. Right. So that's why, like, Bruce Lee's probably he went through Hollywood, being a superstar, movie star and philosopher and artist and teacher. So he just don't want to deal with any chaos and any hustle. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I like that.
Like you said. So same thing, Yeah. So that's why his figure, his philosophy really teaches me a lot in my music.
That's great.
That's why no competition music,
Yeah, I think that's very important. You said that a few times about don't compare yourself to other people. There's this quote, and I don't know who said it, but it says, competition or like comparing yourself is the thief of joy.
Thief of joy. That's a good one.
Yeah. It's like, when you're comparing yourself to somebody, you're stealing all the joy you can out of that for you.
Yeah.
Cause
sometimes, like, you have to really admire, respect, understand good example. And sometimes you compare you and that example to improve yourself. The better reason. Slightly you compare, but not really compare, really understand. So
motivate, inspire.
Yeah, inspire, exactly. So that's why I tell people, don't compare, don't worry, don't expect too much. Be kind to yourself, because those things are really important. So I think this really come from Bruce Lee a little bit, Yeah.
Very cool, man.
Thank you.
What are you playing amp-wise?
Amp-wise, yeah, mostly I love Fender, but also I'm
old
Fender. Right. I like a Pro Reverb, and then I use Two Rock because Two Rock is really based on a Fender.
You and Matt.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of big sound, I mean, Fender is great, but sometimes little bit thin here and there, So to me, Two Rock is almost a beefed up, great part of a Fender, So that's great. And also, I'm open to any new technology like a transistor amp by Roland. Roland make called Blues Cube artists. They make really nice, similar to tube amp, and then I like Roland people. So, I use that too. So those three.
Very cool, man.
Yeah.
This is a tough question. Desert Island Discs.
Huh.
What would be your top three in no particular order and just for today? So just like, today. You can change tomorrow. So like, what would your knee-jerk reaction be?
Oh, probably, if it's today, maybe Stevie Ray Vaughan, I don't know what album, but just one album, Stevie Ray Vaughan. And then maybe Joe Pass, just because I always like a Joe Pass, Virtuoso maybe. Donny Hathaway live. That's always my
interesting.
Donny Hathaway live is always like text of good music, Yeah. And then I like Earth and the Fire, all that stuff. But just that's extra, I guess. Yeah.
I interviewed a famous session guy named Reggie Young. I don't know if you know Reggie.
Oh yeah, bass player.
No, guitar player, but he's from Nashville. Reggie Young. No, Reggie. You're thinking of Reggie Washington.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
I interviewed Reggie too. A long story, Reggie.
Okay. Yeah.
He's good friends with the guy I grew up with. But anyway, and Reggie Young, he's played on maybe more recordings than anybody else. He's 81 now. But
really?
Donny Hathaway. He loved Donny Hathaway.
Yeah, Donny Hathaway live. That's the one I learned so much about soul and good music.
Yeah, I'm going to circle that one because I got to go listen to that.
Yeah.
All right. What's your definition of happiness, Tomo?
My happiness is, I think, right this moment is my family is all healthy, and if we have a place to live, if we have things to eat, I think that's the happiness.
It's nice and simple, man.
Yeah, just because to me, again, like so much to compare in internet world and Instagram too. Everybody has boat, a nice house. That's nice too. But I think the bottom line is like I cannot do anything by myself. I need somebody's help. And then me and my wife, we play as a team, and then kids along, and friends, of course, like you, everybody. So to me, my family and place to stay, and if we have a food, today's lunch, that's great.
You're good.
And they're healthy. If I'm healthy, if kids are healthy and no problem, no trouble, that's good. I don't want any drama. But here's the thing. Life, no matter how much you make effort, always something problem.
Yes,
so
100%.
100%, yeah. You have to deal with it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true, man. That's very true.
Yeah.
Something or somebody you miss from your childhood?
Something. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, I wish my parents or my sister or my friends are closer, but that's too much. But also, some Japanese food.
Yeah.
You can recreate it here, but always good, in Japan, Yeah.
What's your favorite American food?
American food?
Yeah, what's your favorite?
I like a pizza, good juicy hamburger, once a month at least, maybe. Pizza. My wife is Italian, so we make a pizza. And then also, I miss a lot different vegetables.
Yeah.
If I go to regular grocery store in America, not so much vegetables to me.
Like what? Like what kind of vegetables are they missing?
A little bit more roots type of, daikon. They have gobo is a different type of rootsy vegetable that I don't really find here.
Yeah, I eat really healthy, and I would love that, and I'd love to go to Japan just to eat the food.
Like the Japan got great part is for example, almost store 7-Eleven have more food.
I read about that. Yeah.
More vegetable, and then they circulate food so quickly. Another was so fresh.
Yes. And
more yogurt, more choice of yogurt. That's great. And less stuff with the sugar. That's good.
Yeah. I eat real healthy, man. I love vegetables and.
Right.
Yeah, I could eat that all day long, man.
Yeah. That's good.
Well, we'll see. In theory, yeah.
Theory, right.
Tell me something about yourself people would either be surprised to hear or might find a little odd.
Odd. If you see me in my family, you see how much I don't listen music or I don't play guitar. In other words, I'm with family and see my guitar only belongs to basement. I don't bring my guitar to my first floor because that's life, not music.
Interesting.
So I away from music, right? Also, I always love to say something funny. I love jokes. So my job is to make my kids, my wife always laugh. I always say something funny. So that's probably, people don't see me on the YouTube or Instagram because that's what I like most about, comedy, jokes, funny.
I think it's important not to put I don't know. I'm not one of these guys that would put everything on social media.
Right. Social media, I think, like, first I made a mistake with social media. I put all different things, like, Facebook. And I realized Facebook is, to me, I can do more personal thing. The reason is not so many people watch that. Right. Only friends watch that,
Well, you have a governor to let.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Instagram, I think, more focus on music.
Yeah, so your business or whatever.
Yeah, business. Yeah. So, everything about my guitar playing. But then I love cats now because I got a, nice one. So I just post once a week cat's picture or video. Maybe just, for amusement, so something like that. And I love food. And if I post food, everybody love it. But then my wife always said, Tomo, don't put the food. That's too ordinary. Don't do that. She said, okay. And I sneak in. Sometimes I post the food on my Facebook,
Is this the first time you've ever had a cat?
No, I had a cat, many years, 18 years, and, but then, that was regular cat, not something like more hair or something different. And now we had a dog for a while.
Yeah.
10, 12 years. Then, my dog died by cancer. He's a golden retriever. So I can't get the same golden because he has such a sweet personality.
Yeah.
So past like 4 years, maybe we didn't have any pets, and then my wife said, maybe time to get something, but she was thinking cat. And I wasn't sure, cat. Okay. And I was touring May. The first week I was touring.
Oh, you were in Japan?
In Japan.
Yeah.
My wife said, can I buy a cat too? And I said, yeah, I think so. And then once I said, yeah, then next email I said, but I'm not sure. Maybe they're going to scratch my amplifier. My wife said, don't bring a cat in the basement, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Then she got the 8 weeks old, 2 cats.
They're great, man. I love cats.
Yeah, so we love cat.
That's cool, man.
We have a, ragdoll, beautiful. And each one has different personality. Amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love having pets, man.
Yeah.
Hey, who's had the biggest influence on your life musically and then personally?
Oh, that's a hard one. It's a hard one, but it's like, now I think about bottom line, who I became. Maybe my karate teacher. Just because my karate teacher was a jazz guitar player. It's funny, right?
Oh, that's cool.
When I was early teen, I did karate. And then for many years. And I quit once. And I came back. And my karate teacher told me, if you you can come back again. But anybody who come back second time, you're going to quit again. And I did. I did. Of course I did. But then, one time, we had a almost competition or some test, and then we had a sat down lunchtime. That's the only time we kind of have a conversation. He asked me, "So what do you do besides this?" I play guitar. Oh, really? And he asked me all questions. He said, well, "Who you listen? Cha." He said, "Don't listen cha. Don't listen rock. Listen jazz." He said, "Listen, Kenny Burrell and the Barney Kid." I said, what the hell is a Kenny Burrell? And then he was so kind of, he invited me to his house. And we become friends more than.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And then the first thing, right, he showed me 2 Gibson 2400. That's already.
What is that?
400, Super 400.
What kind of
guitar?
Yeah,
it's just archtop, big archtop.
Okay.
Looks like L5.
Okay.
Really big one. And the first, now listen. First, he showed me his Stratocaster Fender, and the Stratocaster has whammy bar, and then one is a completely acoustic guitar with a diamond pickup, and other one has 2 humbucking. He already telling me He said first he ordered 2 humbucking. It sounds stiff. He ordered non-pickups and he put the diamond because he loves Kenny Burrell. That's already, guy has 2 same guitar. I was wondering why you need 2 guitars.
Yeah.
So like that, already he taught me what's the difference. Why?
Yeah.
And then he invite me, he showed me few, phrases, and then he showed me chord progression to play over. But he's not teacher. He doesn't know scale. He doesn't know chords, like how the theory. So that was great because he only showed me something. This sounds good. Learn like that.
Very cool.
And then he has a backing track made by him
Okay.
using open reel, like an open reel 4-channel. He used Roland, echo, open reel. He had this is amazing thing. He had a tube amplifier by what's that? Famous American stereo company. And he had a 2 single amplifier play as a stereo. He has a fan blowing to the stereo. Already, it's something different,
Yeah, something you never saw before.
Exactly. And then almost every week, Sunday, he bring me to his place, couple of hours. Realize that's a private lesson.
That's so cool.
Yeah, maybe once a month, every other week, I don't know, but so many times. And then he showed me something. He asked me to play. I play. And he said, stop. Don't play too many notes. And then he stopped me playing, and then we listen records. He asked me, would you like this? Chet Baker. Do you like this? Ben Webster, Paul Desmond, all different artists, And then he asked me, do you like this? George Benson, Pat Martino, Barney Kessel, Kenny Burrell, and Grant Green, and so on, And he said, listen this, Doug Rainey. His father is Jimmy Rainey. But see, he's young, but he has so much feeling because he listened father so much. And he said, listen to Pat Martino, play like a little bit George Benson. Listen, George Benson sounds like Wes Montgomery. He showed show me history of jazz guitar.
So I bet that's where he also was teaching you how to listen.
Yeah, he taught me, listen, don't play many notes. And then he made a 3 cassette tape, 60 minutes cassette tape. You'll have to listen to this. This is amazing. He made standards. Every song's famous standard by famous guitar player. Next one, ballads. All ballads by famous guitar player.
Wow.
Blues, all famous guitar player that he thinks is great. That's all you get. That's the 3 tapes were my jazz guitar sources.
That's really cool of him to do that.
Yeah.
And do you still have those tapes?
Yes.
That's good. Do. Yeah, I would bet. Yeah, I would thought so.
So that's how I developed. Every night I listen to those tapes to go to bed.
That's so cool.
So basically, he made me listen, and then he made me listening homework to listen. You know what I mean? And after that, he said, I think you like Joe Pass. So he made me few Joe Pass cassette tape. That's it. And after that, by myself, I gather information.
Very cool.
And then the reason I picked, this guy as my huge influence, just because that's why I became who I am right now, I think. Because if you went to Berklee, it become a little bit competitive because everybody's so good. You want to be best of everybody. Do you know what I mean? So in other words,
especially at a young age.
Right, especially when you are 21, 25 around there. You want to be a best, right? And so everybody try to go top. But then I remember the few days before I leave Japan to come to America, Boston, he brought me to have a dinner, Last Supper, so to speak, And then he said, I want you to listen. I want you to be best you can, but I don't want you to be number one. I want you to be only one. That's the word, really resonate many years, I almost cry now.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's what he said. Don't worry about become number one. become only one. That's he wrote me after the letter too, you know.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's
So
really cool.
That's where I try to be good at it, blues and funk. And then just a funny story. When I graduated Berklee, and then I find myself, also I decided myself, I'm not really great blues guitar player yet. Another, I could not play good blues. So after that, I decided not to listen any jazz for about 3-4 years. All I did was go to blues record store, buy all the records, listen all night, and just try to figure out all the blues as possible, you know. So I limit myself to more good blues, you know, and then limit about just good jazz, not so much difficult jazz, just, you know, good swing, good blues, you know, good organ jazz. That's I was really focused on. And then funk, just, you know, I have a rhythm stuff, so I just keep working. So that was his, you know, according to his suggestion, to be only one is that, you know, limit myself from every possibilities, because now I know what to do about limitation, you know.
That's so cool. Is he still around?
I believe so. Yeah, I haven't really seen for a few years, but yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude, you need to reach out to that guy.
I know. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, just tell him, hey, thank you. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, listen to this. 4 or 5 years ago, I met him again, and he said, "I want to come over to my place, but I have a." He said, "I have a like almost like what do you call it? Yard that, you know, having more vegetable and stuff, you know."
Okay.
Yeah, he has a house, but then he has
like a vegetable garden?
Yeah, vegetable garden. He bought a, you know, almost a place to just make a vegetable garden.
Okay.
The first thing, just like this is very like him. First thing, he brought, you know, big like, you know, shoes, and he brought me to garden to pick up vegetable. That's the first thing we did, because I want to feel nature. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's the first thing he did. Then he brought me to his house. He moved to new house. Yeah. He has a real nice Mercedes, you know, vintage stuff, everything good stuff, you know. And then first thing he said, I want to play walking bass line because I saw you play on the internet.
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't play because he's my teacher. I can't play for you.
Yeah.
And I played a little bit, but that was kind of fascinating, you know, to hear from him.
That's good, man. Well, it sounds like he was like a very inspirational mentor, like a critical, you know, philosophy about how you're going to approach music, and then probably the rest of your life. Yes,
exactly. You know, he sort of showed me how important to be something simple, you know, to be more original yourself. Also, don't bother follow the fashion so much, you know?
Yeah, I bet that was really important to have that overriding, like when everybody's thinking about playing faster or getting, you know, you had this goal of like, you know, I'm just going to find my voice and be myself. Yeah.
You know, of course I did try as much as I can, because, you know, coming to Berklee, first I thought maybe I should go to New York or LA to become a studio guy. So obviously I bought so much effect, you know, program effect, try to make sounds like a Steve Lukather or Jay Graydon. I did a lot of parts. I can play just like a David T. Walker, Connie Dupree. I can do, you know, amazing thing like that. But then after I study like that, then I want to be like a Connie Dupree.
Yeah.
Means like, you know, great about Connie Dupree, he doesn't use so much effect. If you listen 10 seconds, you can tell that's him.
I think the best players are like that.
Right, exactly. And that was my intention to become. And then I met Matt Scofield. I found Matt Scofield the same way. If I hear Matt Scofield, I can tell that's Matt.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then he said the same thing.
Yeah.
And then we said, that's best compliment as a guitar player. Somebody says, I knew you 10 seconds.
Yeah, that is good.
You know what I mean? So me and him, we talk about a lot of philosophy, and then limitation is, I think, best thing because he did the same thing about limitation, because he knew everybody plays amazing, but he just limit about things for himself. Good way, so that he learned. Yeah. like B.B. King, he has a great limitation. That's why that sounds made him as a, B.B. King.
Yeah.
If he has too much knowledge of technology, then he ended up playing more notes in a more position, and ended up not sounds like a B.B. King.
Well, yeah, I like the earlier, 70s B.B. King better than anything else. Yeah.
Just because to me, B.B. plays kind of chord shape, then that's the beginning to get his sound. He had a more vibrato because he liked more like a slide guitar, and he didn't know so much chords, so he plays what he knows. He developed. And he listened jazz, big band stuff. Big band has a horn section. Horn section makes more space. So he learned naturally about the pacing instead of, playing like a trio. That's made him. So me and Matt, we always talk about good limitation. Also, simplicity is being part of a sophisticated, stuff,
Yes.
He can explain that really well too. Yeah.
Who, Matt?
Matt, yeah. We should talk to him again about that. He, very cool. He knows about that so well.
Man, thank you for sharing that story about your karate teacher. That was really cool.
You're welcome. And then thank you so much for coming up a good question. Not so much about, guitar strings or those things.
I want to ask you one more question. Is that all right, Tomo?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right.
Biggest change in your personality over the last 10 years, and how much of the change has been intentional and how much is a natural part of aging?
I think more and more it's so much about being myself. Also, like a pacing. Like, of course, like I did a lot, jobs, and I see a lot of people succeed. Some people fall, and then I think, aging too. After when I got 50, I really thought most important thing is the health than anything else besides guitar. So I, like I told you, I worked. Also, I had a great opportunity to work with rock artists in Japan, and I noticed those guys skinny. A lot of jazz guys a little bit rounder.
Really?
Yeah, jazz guys a little bit more, rounder, and they like to drink more beers, and they like more eat food, and they don't really like to work out. But rock guy, they like work out because that's their job to be,
Yeah, they're definitely more. They're even if it's image driven because they want to look good. Yes. I don't give a shit. The end result is great.
Yeah. So I did a tour with these guys about 3 years. Maybe end of my 40s. So those tour taught me they act different. Like, for example, eat a little less, and then they like to drink. So when they drink, they don't eat any carbohydrates.
Yeah,
they drink a little here. And then other guitar player, one time I asked, don't you want to eat rice? I love to eat the rice, but I can't because I play rock.
Yeah, that's funny. I'm the same way, man. If I know I'm going to have a drink at night, I back off on the carbs during the day.
Exactly. So,
same way.
And then that's really helped them. And then check this out. 2 years later, I invite them to my solo guitar show, right? First thing, bass player and drummer said, Tomo, you look so different.
Oh, because you lost weight.
Yeah. And he said, you play better because you lost weight. That's what he told me. Because you look good, you feel good, you play better.
That's great, man.
That's the first thing they come out from their mouth. I was like, wow, that's I did a good job.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this. Are people in Japan, people as direct, very direct when they talk to you?
No, indirect a little bit. But then my friends, I'm very direct, so I think they're influenced by me.
Okay.
Because sometimes indirect. In other words, they feel something, but they don't say it.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Especially if you work a publisher, they don't tell you this is not good or good so much. They suggest you, but they don't tell me exactly because that's a culture.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I thought it was a little more subtle than
very
Americans
subtle.
here.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
They don't want to hurt your feeling, so that's why they don't say this is not so good. oh, I think this is pretty good, but I'm not sure. That's kind of a deal.
But they don't realize they're wasting your time and their time. Exactly. They should just say, "Hey, listen, man, you need to change this." And this is not happening, man.
Right, exactly. This is not happening, man. That's the good words to say, but they will say, "I like it, but I'm not really sure." You know what I mean? Like, 100% sure, but it's really up to you, kind of deal.
That's funny.
So that's why I say I'm very upfront. I will say I like to do it. I don't like to do it. You know. Yeah.
It's just easier to live your life like that, man.
Yeah. That's why, like, I originally my proofreading in DVD I was supposed to do in July, but I said July is kind of busy month. Then I really have to focus on my life, practice, workout. So I shouldn't do it because it's not a great month. And then I told the publisher and the director, and he said, I understand. So we moved to August, So like that.
Let's talk about your DVD. When is that coming out, and what's going to be on it?
Yes, this is one instructional DVD, and we shoot in Japan using two rock and kanji guitar. It's amazing, and then it's a lot of stuff, more than 1 hour, and then other DVDs all documentary. So include my scene, my house, my teaching at the Berklee in Boston, Tokyo, teaching, clinic, gigging, everything. So usually people only see me, maybe performing or teaching. So this is all included. So one DVD is all my.
So it's one DVD is behind the scenes.
Exactly. The one is all about teaching, right?
What are you teaching on there? What kind of instructions?
This is like a title in Japan called Beyond Triads. Means beyond, something more than normal, So it's like all include all basics, but a little bit more beyond, advanced idea.
Very
Just
cool.
Because most of the stuff so far I did with Rito music or How Leonard always focus on more foundation, So this is more than foundation. Also, actually, little bit of foundation reviewing, then how to really apply idea into real performance. And so it's fun.
That's great. And when is it coming out?
Probably around October. Just all depends on my proofreading.
Great.
Because everything already, finished. So yeah.
Very cool, man. Well, I'll look forward to that coming out. And also, you've got some really cool picks.
Yes, right. Yeah, Pick Boy. Yeah, this is company called Pick Boy, and then I made this kind of a message. Always tell to my students. I tell my students, don't worry. First thing, I don't worry because we don't have to worry about anything because we don't begin anything. People worry about so much because they know so much about stuff from internet. Also, don't compare. And don't expect too much, and then be kind to yourself. Just because as a musician, sometimes people too strict about things. Be yourself. So I made 4 different picks about message. This one too, around probably September, October.
And where will you announce that? Or where could people find that?
This one actually I have to give you a link.
Okay.
Yeah, because American company that distribute, so they have a specific link. So I should give you. Yeah.
Great. So you'll have some Pick Boy picks with some cool messaging, and also you do lessons. Talk about what your lessons are like. Are there Skype lessons?
Yes, I do like in person too. If you're in Boston, but also I do Skype lesson, which is really cool because I teach overseas. Include Japan, China, Hong Kong, Singapore, everywhere, France, Germany, London, everywhere, America, all the states, and I love reaching out to people to teach people. Then you don't have to go to Berklee or come to Boston. You can do one by one, 1 hour lesson here and there. So anybody interested in, email me.
Email Tomo. It's music@tomofujita.com, and I'll spell that as music at TOMOFUJITA.com. So email Tomo, tell him what you're looking to do and, a little
Yes.
bit about yourself, and then he'll get back to you in there. So
Yeah. Also, this is good because you ask me a lot of depth about, behind the scene, more than just what I play, what I teach, a lot more philosophical things. So this is very cool to people who follow me, internet, especially like in YouTube or, Instagram. So I want to promote this show to Instagram too.
well, cool, man.
Thanks so much.
No,
Yeah.
thank you, man. I appreciate your time. Thanks for being so open and sharing, so much of your story and about yourself, man.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it, and I really learned a lot. So,
Right.
and let us know when your DVD comes out and
Yes.
when your CD comes out too, whenever
Yes.
that will be. All right.
Okay, I will do it. Definitely.
Listen, man,
Yeah.
thank you. I really appreciate everything.
Thank you. Thanks so much for your time. Great.
Likewise, Tomo. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this interview as much as I did. Check out Tomo Fujita online. He's got a really cool YouTube channel, and he does some cool stuff on Instagram. I would not necessarily order spaghetti from him, but everything else, you're good to go. Thanks to Tomo Fujita for spending time with us. I appreciate it. Make sure you go to everyonelovesguitar.com and sign up to get on our newsletter list. You can do that right now. And remember, most important is that happiness is a choice, so choose wisely. Be nice. Go play your guitar and have fun. Till next time, peace and love, everybody. Thanks for listening, and I'm out. We hope you enjoyed this show. If you did, subscribe to the Everyone Loves Guitar podcast, and you can do this online at everyonelovesguitar.com or on iTunes. And if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star positive review. The more 5-star reviews we get, the higher our show ranks, and higher rankings mean we get to continue speaking with cool, interesting guests on our show. We'll see you on the next episode, and until then, keep playing your guitar and have fun making music.